Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my top 5 tips for Marvel Contest of Champions of the month. We did one in April, we did one the months before, let's do one for May. Marvel Contest of Champions follows the same scheme as a lot of very much grindy games, and they're pushing out a lot of content over the summer months. Usually that's the kind of the dead time or kind of like dead space for people grinding games, but Kabam want to give you a lot of stuff. We have Carinas challenges on, we've got arenas dropping left, right and centre, we've got the 10 Rings tournament, we've got Act 7.2 and a whole host of stuff that's been announced. But there are some key things that we need to remember for the month of May. So let's go through the tips. Most of the tips I give you is all about preparation as well as grind. And that's what we try and do on the channel, is give you grind tips wherever we can. So some key dates are indeed all about prep. And that's what the scheme of these tips will indeed do. So on screen right now, you've got a running order of the very busy midway point of this month. So on May 12th, we'll see Chapter 2 of the 10 Rings tournament. We'll see on May 13th, the 6-star arena. And there's more info to come with this because there was more questions that need to be answered. And we'll wait towards that being either delivered between now and next week when that arena goes live. May 17th sees the Champion Vote Arena, which is Antman versus Guillotine. You might remember that being something Kabam alluded to. You do the arena grind, you get some opportunity to vote, so like tickets of voting. So you'll be able to vote, I believe it's about 6 times you can indeed cast votes. On May 19th, you see firstly Chapter 3 of the 10 Rings tournament, and that will come to the point of conclusion of that particular event, especially as May 19th we'll see Act 7.2 being released. So there's a lot of things going on, and those are your bits of schedule you need to consider. There will be other things like incursion, top zones, and kind of top zone bonuses, refresh and stuff, but these are the key things I believe that players want to know about and as well put into a scheme of when they're going to drop. Next up, and it's the objectives. If you know, the objectives are in game currently, and by doing them you get more rings that are going to be more applicable to the latter point of the 10 Ring tournament side quest. So make sure to do them. I've done a full guide and I've put something in the description that will help out those players. My particular angle and process to this is to look at lower difficulties where you spend about 1 energy to get one specific type of class. It's a little bit different to Road to Labyrinth, and yes, you can focus on Road to Labyrinth, but I just find the process of going 1 energy in and pressing the restart button, especially on the specific class grinding, means that it's a bit better to understand you going, let's focus on skill and going skill, or going cosmic and staying cosmic. Like going to Act 2.2.3 and finding that you've got a cosmic version of a champion there, which is going to be Ronan. You're then going in, you're then doing like light, killing it off, repeating and doing the same by medium. The same thing again, repeating by doing the special attacks, which doesn't have to be in here, it can be done with any other content. As I said, the thing about this is targeting, and it works. And shout out to everybody else and as well on the Discord that indeed, like Erin, took up the tips that I provided. So mad appreciation to those on Discord, and follow on Discord. We've got a Discord, by the way, which does indeed have a full write-up of this in a very quick time frame, especially focusing on Shang-Chi's masterclass objectives and as well the cosmic ones and skill, science and mystic respectively, and the tech one, which obviously I said Road to Labyrinth is a good one for this. But yep, full write-up and as well info is on screen now, and as well link in the description over on Discord. Tip number 3 is the Lei Tai Arena. In the Lei Tai Arena, I assume I'm saying it right. I'm sure there's going to be someone going, actually Richard, you'll find I'm not actually saying it correctly. In this particular arena, what's great about this is getting there quickly with the milestones. Now, at point of recording this video, I'm doing a bit of a grind right now, as while I'm editing videos, you know. You got to multitask as best you can, especially with so much content already in game, especially with the Carinas challenges. FYI, check out the tip in a minute. So yeah, in a nutshell, just go and grab yourself some arena boosts. It does mean you'll get to yourself those milestones a lot quicker than you might think. It's a lot more effective to use that, and you can get more of these arena boosts by doing various different other arenas because they will drop quite frequently. I think a lot of players that have ever grinded arena will probably have a huge stash of arena boosts, so that's something to bear in mind as well. The arena gives you a good opportunity to pick up things like a little bit of battle chips for your trouble, and as well the rings that you require, because you do require those rings in order to do the 10 Rings tournament. Also, it will give you the hand-to-hand shards you need, as well as those unfortunate revives and health potions, which are, yes, specific to the side event. which is deeply disappointing. But you know, this is a month where Act 7.2 and Carinas challenges are out, and Kabam want to maximize the extent of you spending money or kind of like resources on units for that stuff. Especially with July 4th around the corner, you're kind of like, I see what you did there, Kabam. Either way, some nice golds on offer for all this, and as well, as I said, that arena boosts come in handy, and you can recycle the ones you pick up from the milestones into your next grind. So it makes perfect sense to kind of go, okay, good, let's just do it, and at the same time, let's just put in some champions that you like, and then kind of go, right, let's whack on some of those fantastic little arena boosts and go for a grind. Normally best to pick up ones that you actually have arena boosts for, so you might want to pop open some crystals prior in order to get these lovely boosts. Tip number 4 is Carinas challenges, something that's very fresh that's been put in, but at the same time there's a lot of players just straight out there to go and smash it out like the complete mad lads that they are. But for those who want to take their time, it's important to gather the information of what players are using elsewhere. I'm still preparing my guides and champions that I want to use for different types of pieces of content, but what I thought I'd do is piece together like what people have collectively decided to use for what particular interaction. A lot of the things when it comes to the Act 5 elements are actually some of the most straightforward to do, and also yield the most kind of like better stuff, especially from your time and investment. So the Mike's Revenge, Mystic Dispersed, and Asgardian Cheddar are some of the ones that do give the nicest stuff for the investment of units and time. It will be the things like the Labyrinth of Legends that becomes a little bit more frustrating, and a lesser degree the Act 6 ones, which are kind of like on the scale of going, okay, well, the most difficult, the least difficult, and the more straightforward. So yes, do the Act 5 ones, then the Act 6 ones, and then everything else, your patience level is going to wear thin. However, though, moving on, let's piece together what other players have used for different kinds of interactions. Also, shout out to Cat Murdoch and this here. So those that don't know, this is a Act 5.4 maps with nodes, and this is back in September 2020. I feel this is relevant and helpful because it's a collection of these maps and can really help you pinpoint your grind when you're doing Carinas challenges, and something I'm going to be working through and from myself. More so when it comes to Act 5.4.6. So yeah, do bear in mind, I think this one here is going to be the most helpful one for you, and a link to this is in the description down below. This thread here is really helpful because players have put together what they've used. I'll give you a good example here. Here's a team here for taking on the Mordo fight. With this, I believe is Mystic Dispersed, especially with having Antman and Ghost obviously for this, and then having Heimdall, and then Wasp in, and also Magneto, House of X. Going down to some of the other suggestions here, someone said that their team that they used was for the Punisher. They went in the Punisher path and used Ghost for Punisher, Archangel for Electro, and Aegon for the rest. Again, it gives you good information of champions to use. And here, I believe this is one of the mutant ones of Act 6 and Act 6.1.5. The utilization of Gambit, Rogue. I think Rogue is actually one of the go-to champions for this, so that'll be something to consider, especially on rotations, having lifesteal, as you can see right there. There's not much life being taken. So it's going to be very much up to the player who you decide to use for these particular interactions, but there's a lot of really kind of like decent kind of interactions. Someone's saying they use Guillotine 2099 and Cosmic Ghost Rider, and I have seen Cosmic Ghost Rider being used in some sort of these challenges and scenarios. Either way, there's a lot of players coming up with different types of suggestions. These are some really cool ones, especially to interact with the types of challenges you're going to see. But I think that a further guide and deep dive for this, but if you are really kind of gung-ho, you want to do it within a week, then those are a few suggestions for the various different types of challenges that you're going to see. Now, I will be posting some of the Carinas challenge content very, very soon. It's just that, unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that I need to get done, which will be Cavalier difficulty, uncollected difficulty before, and some unit grinding before Act 7.2 drops, because that's really kind of my next target. And I think the same is for a lot of other players as well, that maybe will look at this a little bit further down the line of their MCOC career. And now we move on to the final tip, tip 5 of the month. This is going to be quite important, and I'm going to be doing a full video about revive grinding, but I think it's kind of relevant because there's lots of different bits of new content coming out, endgame content, and revive acquisition is something that's very important. Now, you can go down the route of solo based questing and, you know, timing in correctly. As I said in the past, like if you've got level ups, save until the level up event is on. If you're doing certain types of events, then wait for event quest completion to be on. The same thing with hero use and arena wins. Just structure your day around whatever the grind is, even if you feel you might be kind of getting a little bit behind. It's just a case of grab the revive grab the little bit of units, grab the health potion, and then you're sorted. But there are other ways in order to grab some revives, and they're a bit of a risky option. There's 3 in particular that I know of in particular quests that do appear. The information is in the description down below, but we're going to be talking about Act 4.1.5, Act 4.4.6, and Act 5.3.6. Starting off with Act 5.3.6, in this you will find that there will either be something like a full energy refill, or there will be something, and a lot of times I do find it down here where there's a revive. This stuff can be repeated, and I would say just go down to that particular kind of item, grab it, and then you can exit out. And that may be an option, but at the same time, it may be a case when you come back in, it's not there, and maybe a few other things not there. Sometimes you might have to 100%, or not 100%, you have to complete the quest by going and defeating the boss, and then you might see it actually appear. Don't kind of take that as gospel, because sometimes it's very inconsistent to appear. The same thing can be said with Act 5.4.6. Correction, 4.1.6. Yeah, sometimes the it's important to remember what it is. But yeah, I just forgot that it's a 1, not a 4. So in 4.1.6, right at the very end, you should see something like an item. Now, I've done this a couple times and it hasn't reappeared, so that's the thing with it. Like, do take this particular interaction with a pinch of salt when it comes to items repeatedly dropping. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. We saw it in 5.3.6, but then the other test is going like the other place, which is 4.1.5. And I think the moral of this kind of like story is that yes, revives can be grinded out from quest content, but sometimes they may appear and not appear. I had a similar kind of experience with variants. Variant 7 actually got me more revives because they appeared more. And I don't know if anybody was about for any of those streams. It was a case like I literally do a grind in one path and find that when I come back in, there's like another one that's there on the path. It seemed to be with the latter point of the variants, and that's the case. Sometimes it just won't be there, but other times it will be. Like there's a health pot right there and there's a health pot right there, but before those were both revives, which I thought was kind of abnormal. So that's really the thing. You can repeat content in order to see if some stuff is appearing. I would say stuff where there's a full energy refill may be of more value, like we just saw with the footage of 5.3.6. So yeah, I'll be trying to do like more of a kind of in-depth guide on revive grinding and as well the process around the questing element to things rather than solo quest. But there we go. That has been the coverage. And that has been my top 5 tips for the month. Thanks very much for watching. Check out some content recently posted up there, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.